Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Hungaroring for the AOR Round 12 F2 PC F2 Numbers Hype Energy F1 League. I had this intro laid out and I completely forgot the script. Anyway, welcome to Round 12 here in Season 16 for F2. I am your commentator, Austin. I will be the only one here today because Nick's internet died in his block and all the other ones were taken, so you're stuck with me. I am sorry. Anyway, with a short intro like that, we're going to go on board with qualifying, and it's a wet one today, so let's go to qualifying right now as the rain falls down. People are leaving the session all over the place, so I think we might be having an issue here. Yep, the coordinator has just left the session, so we'll be right back. This mid-Apex Online Racing break is brought to you by Hype Energy F1 and Elgato Stream Deck. I'm currently using an Elgato Stream Deck right now and drinking some Hype Energy. Thank you Hype Energy, and thank you Elgato for sponsoring the AOR streams.
Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Hello everybody and happy Deja Vu, brought to you by Hype Energy and Elgato. You join us here live at the Hungaroring. I am Austin Knight, your only commentator for today, as we are here for the Hungaroring Round 12 in the Apex Online Racing F2 Round 12 in Season 16. Your current standings are Nameless and Kimi Larson still battling out for the lead. The Ferraris are way up ahead, but Nameless and Kimi Larson have a gap of just 20 points to each other, with Nameless at 152 points and Kimi Larson at 32. So we could see the lead change here if something drastic happens here today, but probably not. But it is Hungaroring, it's a treacherous course, and it is currently raining outside my commentary box, so that is very something spicy to look at. Other things in the championship, Hypers is in third with 108 points after his performance last round. DP Max is in fourth, followed by Vlache James with Moeller in sixth. VSR James is in seventh. Fly-by-Wire is in eighth. Matthias is in ninth, and Mr. Anka is in 10th. Those are your top 10 drivers in this race. So, enough jibber jabber about what happened around last race at Germany. We're in Hungary now, so let's go on to the track. That was the wrong button. I'm still learning this thing. Wait, here we are at Hungaroring. We don't really have a driver's hot lap for you, so let's go on board with Kimi Larson as he brings us on a AOR hot lap around Hungary in the wet. It's on board Kimi Larson. He's taking a wide line berth out of turn 14, rocketing down the front straight. No DRS, but that's where you usually activate the DRS. Shift up all the way to 8th gear. Actually, he's not going to shift to 8th. He's going to stay in 7th. Coming into the first corner. It's a very narrow turn, and then it flats out into another DRS zone. This is technically turn 2, but it's not counted. And into the actual turn 2 is the long left-hander. You want to keep your car stable and on the apex. You want to see some fights going through there. Into turn 3, down this little gully, and up to the quick right-left of turn 4. Going to be a very tricky spot, especially in the wets. So he's keeping very good pace. And then up through turn 5, keep it on the apex, run wide just a little bit, and up to the water park chicane, because there's a water park off to the left of turns 6 and 7. And then this is the part where they call it Monaco without the walls of turn 8 through turn 9. Just keeping it in 4 throughout here. He's going to shift up to 5th gear through turn 10 and then turn 11. Stays in 5th gear. There's a timing line right there. It's the end of sector 2 and beginning of sector 3. Straight 90-degree turn off onto turn 12. And then running a long right-hander, just a mirror image of turn 2, but this is turn 13, just in the opposite direction. And then across the final corner of turn 14, going a little bit wide. You want to maximize this corner as much as you can, because it's rocketing down the front straight. And that is your lap of Hungary. Thank you, Kimi, for that, as he sits in 3rd place. And your current 1st place driver is Muller. Good job from Muller right there, as I'm just hitting Y all over the place. There we go. Nope, that is not what I wanted. There we go. So Muller currently sits in 1st place on the intermediate tires. We're going to get the gap to the leader. It's actually got a flyer of a lap right here, so let's go on board with Kodo. See what he's doing. He's coming through turn 12 right now. Kodo looking pretty good throughout the season. Still lead coordinator, so he was up there fighting for the lead. I would have spouted it rigged all over the place, but no, Kodo just looking pretty good. So he's heading into the pits. Obviously not happy with this lap. How about Kian Harrison? Kian, how are you feeling? Well, Kian is looking very... Oh, that is extremely wide out of turn 11. That's an invalidated lap for sure. Sure, he's 3 seconds down on his old time, but that is invalidated. That's also invalidated. That's all 4 wheels on the track, as Hypers has joined the session. He's going to get back in here. As Nameless comes across the line, they won 26.738. It's 0.158 behind of Muller. What a nice lap by Nameless right there. Nameless currently leading the championship by 20 points to his teammate who is in the pits. Let's take a look at Scene. Scene joined in Austria. It was one of those stories where in the wet, this guy was just a master of just wet conditions in Austria, because he came in pole and was leading the race and everything, and sadly his tires didn't last. So as we're coming up to the water park chicane, woohoo! Getting a little bit dicey there, Scene. Saw that tail end flick out. This ain't a drift competition. This is Formula 1. But I have seen a few drivers do a little bit of drifting, and it is wet on track, so I kind of expect it. But Scene's just looking pretty good out there, as we see the Red Bull Toro Rosso get out of the way of him. The Haas in the background as well. I'm not sure who that Toro Rosso is. Probably Jury. I believe he's the only Toro Rosso, or it's probably Max. I'm not sure. As Muller sets a new fast lap of 1:26.024, so the lap times are falling here today. And it is looking pretty good as Scene is going into the pits. What about Nameless? He's also going to the pits. Matthias, show me something good. He is, because that's the first corner. Oh, Matthias! Matthias, where were you going? There you are. This back end just flew out there way faster. But Matthias sits in 4th place, 1.156 seconds behind of Muller, who's in first. I wasn't expecting Muller to be up there, but we have seen, especially if in Hockenheimring, because they both start with H, I get confused at them. At Hockenheimring, almost everybody was within a second of each other. That's how close qualifying is as we approach Water Park Chicane. Woo! That is looking pretty nicely. And into Monaco without the walls. Let's ride on board with Matthias in this wonderful T-Cam. Alright. That little Sector 2 section is always fun to look at. I think Matthias is coming into the pits right here, but it's just such a great track, and yeah, he's definitely going into the pits right now. So, thank you, Matthias, for that. Let's go on board with Soren. Actually, no. Let's go on board with the man in third place right now, Hypers. Just got that third place after Hungaroring, after his fantastic performance in Germany. I believe so. I think. I'm not sure. He's in third. It's been a long week. Wait, Hyper sitting down in 11th. 2 seconds off of Muller in first, but I believe he can bring it back. And yes, these are certainly tricky conditions in the Hungaroring. It's in that, you can see that massive dry line on track, so, but the rain is still falling, but the lap times are definitely going to start falling as Hyper is coming across the line right now. Where will he be? Just slightly faster than that, so needs a bit of improvement as somebody just jumped up a bunch of positions. I'm not sure who that was, but I saw Hypers move down a few positions and a few other people. I think it was Koldo, actually, who moved up to P8th. So we're on board with Kimi Larson going through the water park chicane. Rides on the curbs just a little bit. Kimi's car pretty steady, but Kimi sitting second in the championship to his teammate of Nameless, who's in first place of the championship, but he is in second place on track. So we got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Everyone's just trying to find their bearings with 8 minutes left in this qualifying session. We have this lovely helicopter shot. Please give me more of these. Another yellow flag in Sector 1. There's probably people just letting each other by. It's not that time for retirements or Maz's crashes, and I don't see anyone crashing out on this track. Rides that inside apex, runs onto the curb, down the front, straight and across the line. Kimi, 127.311. Still in 7th place. Does cut down on that gap. Let's take a look at his teammate of Nameless. Coming up through turn 4. It's where Felipe Massa had that unfortunate accident. With a spring. Thank goodness he's okay, and he's doing pretty okay in Formula E. As this is Formula 1 F2, and I should call it Formula Wet. Because of all the water coming down. But anyway, as Nameless is coming through this, the end of Sector 2, Monaco without the walls rides a bit wide on those curbs, coming up to the sharp 90-degree turn of turn 12. I believe that is the only 90-degree turn on this track, and yes, I am right. Turn 6 is not 90 degrees. Rides really close to the apex on turn 13, and let's watch his approach on turn 14. Extremely wide berth. So either he's going for a run right now. He is. That was his outlap. So let's ride on board with Nameless after I adjust some audio settings. That is assist. There we go. See, Nameless cut that corner right there. I don't think that will be a counted time from Nameless. I think he just realized that as he cut that turn 4 right there as he's approaching the water park chicane. Runs really wide, hops over the curb. I think he's still going to hold out this lap, so that Alfa Romeo is following him right now. And that may be VSR James. Let's go on board with James, and it is James. Man, I guessed that really nicely. But James going to have a good line in front of him. Never mind, Nameless has gone out of there. But it was a good transition point as James sitting in P9 right now. Right there. And yes, it is solo commentary today. My co-commentator, Nick, or Mr. All Flash is having internet problems, so you get the American who yells a lot. I'm sorry. If that's a bad thing. If it's a good thing, if you just want the American who's the exciting one, yay. don't want the exciting one. I'm sorry, you can just watch the stream on mute and then just enjoy the race. Or you can watch all the other content on the AOR channel, all brought to you by Hype Energy and Elgato Stream Deck, which I am using right now. Ching. Wait, James finishing that lap a bit slower than his first one, so he's going to go back into the pits with 4 minutes left. Max sits in P2, so Max had a stellar of a lap to launch himself ahead of Nameless, who is in P3. Everyone loves that. Aww. Thanks, Alan. As Muller sets a new fast lap, he's just been setting lap after lap after lap. Muller with a great lap time right there of a 1:25.661. Does Max have anything to answer that? Let's follow him through. No, he is out of fuel, actually. He's actually out of fuel. Good job, Matt. Yeah, go into the pits. You're out of fuel, buddy. I wasn't expecting to see that. I believe Jury is also going into the pits. Yes, he is. Koldo, how are you doing? You are not on. You are going to be on a lap because your thing says 0 laps on your tires. So it's right on board with Koldo. Through the end of sector 3, riding a little bit wide on these curves and approaching turn 12. Just going to clip that apex, clip these outside curves. Boom, boom, boom. I would like a number 2 Razor on the top. Runs it a little bit high on turn 13. Let's see how his approach to turn 14 is. He going to take that wide berth? No, this means he is on a lap. Coming down the front straight. Kodo getting a little bit swirly, but across the line he does, and he jumps up to P8. Good lap by Kodo, 1.5 seconds behind of Muller, who is just honestly just crystal perfect along this lap. And I believe Scene is on his outlap right now, and he's going to launch one into the sky with this lap. Let's go to Mr. Mushroom Man right here. As he starts his flying lap. He's got a little bit of traffic to go with. Running in through turn 1. See Mr. Anka off to the right there. Oh, Scene getting a little bit squirrely. His back end falling off just a tad bit. As the commentators are talking about a interesting PS4 action, which I have no idea what's going on, but I'm definitely going to tune into that for that. So, y'all can tune into that. Don't have to watch this. But Scene making his way through Sector 2 into the water park chicane, which is on that hill behind those trees, actually. Looks like a decent water park. I'm pretty sure no one's going to be there because it's raining right now and the hills are muddy. Here's your water park. It's on track. As he's going through Monaco without walls right now, running on the curbs and down into Sector 3, up into turn 12. Only 14 turns on Hungaroring, which is kind of a small turn number, but it doesn't feel like that with this track. And so it's honestly very interesting track. And with this natural amphitheater final stadium section right here, it's just a perfect spectator thing as Scene comes across the line up into P4 of a 1:26.748. This 1.085 seconds behind, but look at the gap between Nameless and Scene. Speaking of Nameless, can Nameless do anything to top Scene? I saw he was on his outlap while Scene was doing that, so I believe Nameless is going to try to finish his lap right now. So he's running a little bit wide on these curves throughout turn 14. Toro Rosso jumped up with him. I'm not sure which Toro Rosso that is, but Nameless comes across the line, improves his time, but not any positions. Was that Max in front of him? It is Max in front of him. So Maxi Boy, right here, I believe on his flying lap, going in through turn 2. That is that little kink off of turn 1. It's not counted as a turn apparently, and I've always counted it as a turn, so my bad. I always count this as 2 turns as well. Turn 4, very fast left-hander. You want to get that absolutely perfect. A lot of downforce is needed to keep your car playing it, but all these guys like to run a little bit high ballast. So if you get that ballast just wrong, your car is just going flinging off the track if you don't get that right. As Max actually gets a not the best ace in all that corner as Kimi Larson is... Kimi. As Nameless is closing in on Maxi right there, as time is right now in qualifying, and it is crunch time. Final laps are going in. Mr. Anka jumps up into 4th place. What a lap by Mr. Anka. Let's go on board maybe Max. Seniors retired from the session. Jury has finished in 9th. Marco Chris has finished in 13th. Nebula has retired from the session. I haven't seen Nebula ever. I think he changed his name. It's nothing but Max coming across the line in 2nd as long with Nameless. Let's see if Moeller can cap it off right there. Moeller, I believe, is the last guy on track, so this would just be a victory lap for him. But Moeller's just been absolutely dominant in the wet here today in Hungaroring, running that lovely 23 numbered Mercedes. 23 is my favorite number, so go Moeller, go! Totally not showing bias right now. Look at the spray off the back of Moeller. The switch T-cam runs across the line and into 1st place with even a faster time of 1:25.620. Ladies and gentlemen, your pole man is not Moeller because Soren is coming across the line right now. And let's see if Soren goes. Oh, he did jump up there, but it's all done and out. It's going to be Soren up in 7th. Good finish by Soren. As Moeller takes pole. That was a pretty decent qualifying session. Nothing crazy happened. Had a bit of rain, so if it's a dry race, we won't know what's going to happen. It's certainly going to shake up the start. As it's going to be Moeller taking the lead, followed by Max, Nameless, Kimi Larson, Mr. Anka, Scene, Soren, Matthias, Nebula, who I think is a sub, Jury, THM, Hypers, Caldo, Crisman, James, Kian Harrison coming up at the rear. Well, if a certain crazy qualifying session like that, well, I wouldn't say crazy, but the top 3 are in a different league on the wet. If it's a dry, it's going to be completely different. And this is what I'm going to say. Start saying dry track strategies if they're going to start on softs or mediums, because the ultras on this track are just heat up so fast that it's not. You aren't going to expect to see anyone on this. They only last about 4 laps, so it is a dry track. So we're going to have a little bit of a fight up out at front, because I'm pretty sure the dry versus wet track crowd is completely different. But they do, I think they do have dry setups on these cars, so that's why you saw a big gap, and Muller just went for the, I'm going to go get pole here and just hold everyone off. Anyway, as we are waiting for all these cars to get on track, what are your guys' predictions for the race? Hello, Simi K, who says go Moeller. As NVM is in the chat, as well as Alan. As we are on board with everybody, as they are going on a formation lap around the Hungaroring. It's race time! Your first row is VP Moeller and VSR Moeller and VP Max. Your second row is the Ferraris of Nameless and Kimi Larson. Your third row is the Red Bull of Mr. Anka and the Renault of Scene. Your fourth row is Soren and Matthias. Your fifth row is Nebula and Jury. I think Jury had a penalty. No, wait, no. This is the right order. Never mind. Go around saying. And your fifth row, it's THM and Hypers. The sixth row is Kodo, and Marco Crisman. And the last row is James and Kian Harrison. So they're all making their way around the track right now. Let's focus on the Ferraris of Nameless and Kimi Larson. This is the battle for championship. 20 points separate them from the start, from each other. So, Kimi could take the lead if Nameless doesn't finish and Kimi earns a victory. As people are hitting each other in Sector 3. Don't worry, it's just a formation lap. It's that lovely statue here in Hungaroring shows up in this. Well, oh, there was a Haas. Was that THM? Yeah, it was. You see him right down there as he runs into another. Come on, THM. What you doing? What you doing, man? Come on. It's the pros, man. It's the pros. Can we listen like that? Alright, enough banter aside. We're lining up on the start grid, everybody. Buckle your seatbelts. Y'all are in for a ride. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away they go for round 12 here in Hungary. Great start for Hypers and Jury. Oh my goodness, it's happened immediately. Oh, it's Hypers and Nebula. Hypers and Nebula. Hypers is stopped on the front straight. There's an entire front wing missing, but Hypers and Nebula have been involved in a massive collision at the start. As we see Nebula lock up, trying to get that car rotated. The yellow flags have not come out for this, and as we're returning back to the front, what a massive crash. Possibility of the driver still available. I am not sure. You have to go on to the forums at apexonlineracing.com. As they're all rocketing through this water park chicane, we see Muller and Max and Nameless the Thrustmaster. All of these guys racing for the lead right now. After that massive collision, we're on board with Nameless, the championship leaders. We see Kimi Larson closing in on Nameless. So all these guys just spreading out just a little bit after we saw that start. Marco Krisman just jumped up 5 places. So what a start by Marco Krisman in the Renault. You see him right there as he comes off the bottom. He's following Soren right now. So all coming along the final lap. I think Marco is going to get a run on Soren right here as we see everyone diving down the insides. Go on board with Kimi Larson as he's following Nameless. You see, oh, Krisman is going for it. Krisman has gone for it on Soren, and yes, he sneaks up the inside, but can Soren fight back for a cross-check? No, he can't. Marco Krisman gets up 6 places in 1 lap. What a starting lap by Marco Krisman right there. He is certainly showing himself right there on how to do, as Nebula and Hypers have finally made themselves into the pits. But wow, that is a intense start by Marco Krisman, as Kimi Larson's time is showing that he's a minute 20.1 seconds behind Nameless. I call BS on that. We're going to go on Nameless, and that Ferrari right behind him is Kimi Larson. Hi, Kimi. Let's go for the battle for 9th place. Jury and Soren. Jury closing in on Soren right there. Jury closing up into turn 12. Not going to have any room to go as Hypers has retired from the session. We are under virtual safety car. Oh, you hate to see it happen, but it's happened. As everyone is sitting under VSC as that is going down. Let's go on board with Kian Harrison, who's just waving his tar. Let's go into the race director and see what has happened. Well, he's hit Jury. And yeah. So, yep, Hypers did crash out. I'm not sure where. But let's just ride on board with Kian Harrison, right, Marco Krisman right now. Sorry. As the VSC is over, and we're back to green here in the Hungaroring. Let's stay pretty close to each other. Oh, there's already an overtake between TH and then Jury. Jury jumped on THM without even him knowing, and he's made a jump up there. Jury is sitting up in P10 as they all fight through the water park chicane. It is absolutely wonderful to see all these guys just driving very quickly through there on the line. It is sad to see how that race ended, as we have a message from Hypers as he lost the back end on cold tires. RIP. F in chat, my dudes. Hopefully Hypers gets a nice break and is ready for Belgium. So we're on board with Jury chasing down the back of Soren. He does have DRS. DRS is enabled. Soren does have DRS, but look at Jury. He's looking up the inside into turn 1 lockup. Gets extremely close. Not going to happen any of it between these two. Let's go on board with Seam right now, but Jury is looking very spicy with Soren locking up his wings. We see the overtaking man of Marco Chris's Jury going around the outside, and Soren, he's lost it. Soren, oh no! Soren went ghosted, and he made a correctional move to avoid Jury, and he's lost a bit of his front wing. We got a yellow flag in Sector 2. Oh, Jury. That was a bit tense, but right there. Glad that Soren is still in the race, but he's definitely going to have some words after that, as he's going to limp his Force India, Racing Point Force India, back into the garage. Let's go on board with Marco Chrisman, 6 places up after that chaotic start. Let's take a look at the tires on what everyone's got going. Marco Chrisman on the soft tires. We have a few guys running on the medium tires as well, so we're going to have a reverse one stop where they just take the longer stiff tires, and you know what I'm talking about. So I believe Scene and Mr. Anka are having a little bit of battle. Actually, look ahead. Max and Muller, this is a battle for the lead. Max diving up the inside of Muller. He pushes Muller out. Can Muller hold it back? They're side by side through turn 3. Maxie gets the lead into turn 4. He cuts ahead of Muller, and what a brilliant move by Max for the lead of this race. Going in through turn 5, Muller following just closely front and the gearbox as they enter the water park chicane. These top 4 drivers are on another league right now. They're all just pushing each other as fast as they can. As I am loving it right back here in the commentary box. Muller following closely to Max. A little bit of lockup on the front right wheel. Let's take a look at everyone else's. Marco Christmas gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That is not going to help his chances after all the positions he's overtaken. Just look at the gap between these top 4 and everyone else. They've really rocketed 2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field between Kimi Larson and Mr. Anka. So we're going to stay on these top 4 right now. DRS is open for Muller. Will Muller try it down the inside? Yes, he does. Double wheel lockup. Max leaves in the room. Muller's going to go side by side. He has DRS down this little turn chute right here, heading into turn 2. He's going to try for around the outside right now, but Max pushes it wide. Oh, I thought I saw Nameless going to try to go for the inside move as they fling through turn 3 right there, heading up into turn 4. This little rise, you want to keep it nice and single file right there. Muller can try some eye tactics right here, so we're going to go on board with him. Let's take a look at his approach in the lines as he's following Max through the swimming pool chicane. Actually, no, let's go for a view of Kimi Larson as he's following all 4 of these guys. It's going to look like a little roller coaster ride through Monaco without the walls right here. Those people, Muller giving Max a little bit of room, you can see, as Nameless just following him right now. Is actually creating a little bit of gap. Let's go on board with Muller, see if he tries anything heading into the wonderful panoramic views of turn 13. The lovely corner heading into turn 14, the final turn. Going to get his car all ready, but it looks like Max has turned all the jets and he's losing Muller right behind. Because Muller has lost a bunch of time. I'll try to get a look at Nameless, the championship leader. Going to try it on the inside. Muller and Nameless, and it's going to be Nameless taking P2. Muller not really having the pace like he did in the wets. I'm going to say wet tracks have wet drivers. Wet drivers prefer wet tracks. A track makes all the difference, but Muller is certainly fighting some problems with his cars. We got a yellow flag in Sector 1. I think it's Jury. It is Jury. What has happened to Jury? I don't know. But that's a broken front wing. So I'm guessing something happened. He might have had a spin. We'll go back to Muller as I saw another piece fly off. That's Keaton Harrison and Poldo. I am just sticking things up, but that was the yellow flag, was very spicy looking as we're on board with Moeller. So he's just having problems with his car. Starting on poles, falling down 2 places in P3. And Nameless and Max are in the lead, but I think Nameless is closing in on Max, but this group of 4 is still on their own, as we see in the battle for the background. Scene and Mr. Anka. I thought they were closer. No, they weren't, but they do have DRS, and you see both the Red Bulls and a Renault in a little bit of sandwich as THM has hopped into the pits for the Haas team. Is this going to be a front wing change? Yes, it is. So THM lost a bit of his front wing right there. As Nameless has closed in on Max, the championship leader is closing in. He wants another W to add to his trophy collection, and Ferrari wants more points for them as they lead the championship by a dominating amount. They go through Monaco without the walls. The gap's pretty much staying the same, all within a second. We see Muller closing in on Nameless through this section, so it just looks like Max has just got this on lock right now. That little section as Nebula and Soren are having a little bit of fight at the back. They're side by side. Whoa! We saw that end up badly right there for, I believe, Soren, who was going around the outside aggressive move with Jury. Yeah, that move, but replace that with the unfortunate consequence of Nebula back there. But that was extremely close to witness, as we're going to go flying back up the field to Moeller, who's actually, Kimi Larson has actually lost time. He's actually a second back. Kimi Larson has fallen off the back of this pack. What's happened to Kimi? I'm not sure. We're going to go on board with Nameless right now. He's just trying to find his way to close in on Max right there. But Max, starting for second. He learned for the best. And he's certainly showing it. The tires are looking like they're falling off. Just a little tad bit. We're going to go on board with Scene. He's in the Red Bull. He's having a fight with Matthias, who's on his tail right now. Scene on the medium tires. The farthest up the field on the medium tires, I must say. As THM gets a 3-second time penalty. Locks up going into turn 12. I thought I was going to see a fight. I'm not. But Matthias is looking at the back of Scene, but that wide line is not showing that he's got it under thing, as Kean Harrison gets a 3-second time penalty. Down in 13th place. That's not going to help him. Scene is on mediums. He is the farthest up on mediums. He is on that reverse one-stop strategy, as I said at the start of this race. So he's definitely going to try to go for other stuff, as Matthias is just following the Renault closely. But, whoa, he's getting really close heading into turn 2 and into turn 3. But Scene's just still ahead. We're going to go back to Nameless and Max as they're farther up the track in turn 5. Heading into the water park chicane. Nameless riding that curve just a little bit too long. Go through that water park chicane. Look at how close Muller was to them. Muller might have jumped a few curves. I'm just saying, but look how close this front 3 are. I'm not going to leave this camera angle for a while now, because I like watching battles for the lead. Shape out. Max leading them into turn 12. Nameless. Oh, I thought he was going to dive down the inside, but he did have a bit of a lockup. So they enter panoramic turn 13. Max running out a bit wide into the pit lane. Enters slightly. So going all extremely wide into turn 14. Look how close Muller is. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts. This is a drag race in Hungary. Got Nameless. He's positioning himself. Max going down the inside. Nameless going around the outside. Into turn 1. Lockup from Nameless. Max pushing him wide. Nameless trying to hold it around the outside. They bang front wings. Luckily, everything stays in contact. Max going down for the inside right now for turn 2. He pushes Nameless wide. Can Nameless hold it? No, he can't. And it's going to be Max holding up P1. As we're on the front wing of Nameless as they're going into turn 4. Giving Max a little bit of space through there, not wanting to break his front wing in any braking zone. We see Muller closing in on this. This is great, clean racing here at the front as they enter the water park chicane. This is very exciting right now, and I'm loving every bit of it. I hope you guys are loving this great racing, brought to you by Hype Energy Drinks and the Elgato Stream Deck. All AOR races are brought to you by Elgato Stream Deck, and all AOR F1 races in the F1 Season 16 League are brought to you by Hype Energy. As Nameless is going for a move down the inside through turn 14. He's going to have a run on it. He's going to have DRS2. He is sitting in that slipstream. Can Nameless close in on Max? Yes, he is. Max going down the inside. Nameless shooting out to the outside. And Max holding down that apex, but Nameless is going in for a switchback, but can't get it done as Muller is back there. But Nameless shooting around the outside. He's going to go for a switchback. He's pulled out. Max! He's sold him a dummy! But he's turned Max! Max losing traction, and Nameless got on the brakes and off the gas. But look how close Muller is to Nameless right now, as they're now battling it out for turn 2. P2 and P1. But Max, luckily that this is a four-way fight, so you don't always have to focus on attacking. You have to focus on defending as well. But the one person who can focus on attacking the most is Kimi Larson, who has joined back up with his fight, as I'm pretty sure they're all focusing on attacking and defending moves, as we're going to ride on the back of Kimi Larson right now through turn 13 and heading up to the straight, so you can see on how many opportunities he has in this massive pack. They shoot down the front straight. Let's go on board with Nameless into the sky. Nameless has DRS. Muller waiting back. Max dives down the inside. Once again, we saw something flying off the front of Nameless' car. They're side by side through turn 1. Once again, who's going to come out first? It's going to be Maxi with Nameless right behind him. Muller, big puffs of smoke from all these guys' tires. I am sorry if there's a dog barking. I can't help it. He likes to bark. Look how close this pack of 4 is. They're actually pulling away from Scene, who is in P5, who made that overtake on Mr. Anka. I'm sorry if I missed that. We got a yellow flag in Sector 3. No safety car has come out, but Max's tires are almost gone already. The time is to pit right now, as we see Muller and Kimi riding each other's tails. Kimi is definitely riding the tail of Muller, as Nameless and Max are pulling away right now. But the thing is with Ferrari, who's going to pit first? Is it going to be Nameless, or is it going to be Muller? But look at the big puff of smoke from Max right there, as Nameless dives into the pits as well as Muller. Want to keep it out of the pit wall, but the pit stop phase is live. Big puffs of smoke as Scene, who is on the medium tires, I must say, has entered 3rd place. He still has another stint to go, but Max and Kimi Larson on those worn soft tires, how will they fare to a speeding Scene on the worn-ish mediums? Lap 14 out of 35, the softs can go 12 to 13 laps. Do a little quick math here. A few more laps for that one stop for Scene, as James is following Marco Crispin right through the field. So around on lap 23, Scene is going to want to go into the pits. Can he hold off the likes of Kimi Larson, Max, the entire field, Nameless, and Muller, as they are still fighting throughout the grid, but I believe these two are going out. No! Look at the Kodo, who is still on the thing, but everyone else has gone into the pits. Max has gone into the pits. Larson's in the pits. But Scene is out, and ladies and gentlemen, your leader of the race, it is Scene. He's going to have to hold out to lap 23 before Scene has to go into the pits. Let's go on board with Nameless and Kimi Larson. The Ferraris are battling side by side. Look at Muller. This might be a 3 wide into turn 2. Ooh, side by side, but it's going to be Nameless edging in it. Look at Muller. Muller having a fight. He's getting pushed out wide by Kimi Larson. He'll be taking a back seat to Muller and Nameless right there. And that massive pack. This is wonderful news if you are Scene, who is leading these guys by 17 seconds. So it's going to have to keep a very consistent pace as these guys are battling and obviously slowing each other down as Nameless and Max are closing in on each other for the net lead on these medium tires. Remember, Scene has to pit on lap 23, which is in 8 laps right now, before he can go onto the softs to make that one stop work. Max going a little bit wide. So he can pit earlier in lap 22 for 13 laps, but it's not ideal right now. But Nameless looking in to close in on Max right there. Max dies down the inside. This is now the battle for P2. Nameless going around the outside. Big lock up there side by side. They're wheel to wheel. But it's going to be Max edging him out. And look at Muller. Muller's going to be opportunistic as this is now 3-1. But look at Nameless shooting up the inside. He pushes Max out wide. Does Max have any chance? But no, he closes the door. And it's going to be Nameless into P2 as Max and Muller and Nameless are battling out all swords of shield and everything. They have lost 2 seconds to Scene with this constant battling. Can Max have anything to say? Or does Muller have anything to say against the championship leader of VSR, Nameless? Woo! Max losing it out just a bit wide. Look at Muller shooting up the inside and in turn 12. Is he going to lose it in the braking zone? Yes, he does, but Muller goes a bit wide. And now Max shoots up the inside. And into turn 13, and Max regains P3. What a move by Max right there to retain his position. He's actually lost an entire second to Nameless, who's pulling away from this double fighting from the Toro Rosso and Mercedes. Look at Muller. Opens up DRS. Going to hold out on the inside. Matthias has to do fast lap of 1:18.932. But it's going to be Muller up the inside. And he makes that move even before the turn. But now Muller is in P3. Max looking behind, trying to see if he can get the switchback move into the next turn. I am not sure. And Scene is benefiting from these 3 fighting. Remember, Nameless is not in this fight. Nameless is closing in on Scene. He was 14 seconds. Then it was 16 seconds, and now it's 15.2 seconds. But Nameless is definitely running away from this fight as Muller is trying to hold off Max, who is charging for P4. But somebody who wants to close in on both these guys is Kimi Larson, the second place driver in the championship, sitting down in 5th, 20 points behind of Nameless, who is in 2nd place. This will largen up the gap for the championship for sure for Kimi Larson. So running on board with Max once again, heading in to the start finish straight as Nameless sets a new Muller sets a new fast lap of 1:18.670. Those medium tires as Matthias sets a new fast lap of 1:18.652. Matthias is on the mediums as well, but Matthias is definitely the fastest car on the track. Scene is leading by 14.5 seconds to Nameless up in front. As this battle has kind of died down, they saw their hearts just, sorry, I just punched my mic. They saw their hearts just kind of pounding just a little bit. So they're probably just going to take a little back seat to this right now. On lap 18 as they all cut that chicane right high on those curves. Watch it, boys. You don't want to cut that, you don't want to cut that very close. As, ooh, it's getting dicey between Matthias and Kodo back there. Kodo Under fire from Matthias. Obviously, Matthias been setting fast lap after fast lap, and he's closed in on Kodo. Kodo on the 17-lap old medium tires against the fresh, minty fresh of the 3-lap fresh tires of these medium varieties. He has DRS. Matthias looking down the inside. He's going to make that overtake with ease. Holds off the inside from Kodo, pushes them a bit wide. And it looks like it's going to be Matthias, and it is Matthias, who is up into P6. What a move by Matthias for that overtake on the straight. Made it look easy. And that anyone can do it. But you can't, because these guys are all C. Let's see, onboards give you some insight. So I'm going to give you some onboards between Max and Muller. Or are you talking about the start? Hypers, if you have any onboard at the start, you can send it to me on Discord and I'll show it to the crowd. After the race, obviously. But Max closing in on Muller. So is Kimi Larson on Max. Keaton Harrison gets another 3-second time penalty. As well as Nebula. As Mr. Anka gains on Koldo, who heads into the pits. 18 laps, all those medium tires definitely not feeling them out. 15 laps left in this race. Seen leading by 12 whole seconds to Nameless. As Nameless running away from this battle of three throughout this Sector 2 through Monaco without the walls right now. All these guys playing it a little bit safe right here after those ding-dong battles, but they're all following so closely right now. It's definitely slowing some of them down. Scene has gone into the pits. Scene is into the pits. Big locker from Scene. He does make it sick. He's going to go for the 14-lap soft strategy. Comes out on the soft. Where is Nameless in this? Nameless takes the lead from Scene. Where will Scene come out right there? There's the bid. There's that battle for P4. Scene's going to come out in P5. Is there anyone else on the straight? Yes, there is. He's going to come out right ahead of Matthias. Ooh, Matthias not liking that, and Scene is coming out in P5 on the soft tires. He's going to take the inside line to defend from Matthias, who's been setting lap record after lap record. But Scene, look at that grip of those tires. He's already pulled out a gap to Matthias throughout just a few corners. That gap is increasing and increasing. He's 4 seconds behind of Kimi Larson. And that battle for P4. We saw them shoot through that, but Scene is definitely closing in on Kimi Larson, VP Max, and Muller as they continue their battle for P2 and 3. Nameless leading the race 2 seconds ahead. Can Scene close in and take the victory? With this pace right now, he is certainly looking like it. You see all those guys up there. Let's go on board with Max as we watch this battle for P2. So there is Scene in the background. That red, that yellow Renault. I am sorry. It's been a long day for me. You see Nameless leader of the race, followed by Muller and Max. Kimi Larson has dropped off of this fight just a little bit, but we are in the closing stages of this race. 13 laps left. But Scene is on the freshest of these tires. Can he close in on these guys right here? It is looking like so. 3.3 seconds behind of Kimi Larson. I believe that's a second faster as Soren sets a 1:18.112. see Max right here. Trying to close in on Muller. But Muller is just on a different level of pace to Max right here on these middle ground tires. Look at the gap this scene has closed up on Kimi Larson. 2.4 seconds. He's pulled away 2 whole seconds on Matthias. That was a lap ago. Wow. Scene is definitely feeling it right here. See that Renault in the background. DRS is enabled for Max and Kimi Larson. Max goes in on Muller, does open up DRS. Just trying to find anything he can to close in on the Mercedes. They're all taking a little wheelie line around the outside of turn 2. Heading up through turn 4, Max looking very nice. Right there, riding a little bit wide. You guys do not want any penalties. I believe these guys have no penalties right now. Either of them, but Scene has closed in under 2 seconds now. 1.82 Kimi Larson. We saw that back wing of the Renault right there. So we're going to keep our eye out for Scene as he's closing in. As Jury gets a 3-second time penalty. Max right on board that T-cam right there. Big lockup for Max right there. It's not going to help his tire wear. As Scene, I don't think he's going to have DRS this round, as he's 1.324 seconds, but he's about to close in and join this fight for P2 and make it a 4-way fight. It's not DRS assisted, but he's got the grip assist. Max gets another big puff of smoke. Hashtag Vape Nation. As he goes through turn 1 and into turn 2. All of them following very close to each other. I don't think that any of them wants to hold each other up. As let's get the cameras on Scene as he's closing up on these guys. 1.5 seconds and into the section where he is the quickest. No one can match him through this section. He didn't put up the fastest lap, I must say, but he is definitely faster through any of these guys on the section. He's got the grip, he's got the downforce, and he's got the clean air to close up to Kimi Larson right now and make this fight a 4-way fight for P2. That gap goes to 1.2026 seconds. I believe it has dropped under a second. Ladies and gentlemen, Scene has joined the party. Buckle your seatbelts. Y'all are in for a wild ride. As Scene will have DRS right now. He's definitely caught up to the leaders. And he has joined this fight. He's going to stay in the back just a little bit. Kimi Larson actually did not have DRS up there, but I think he was in the braking zone when I saw his car pop into frame. We're still riding on board with Scene. See, closing up to Kimi Larson. I'm going to get away with the leaderboard right now. I'll give you the nice whole view of Scene's car and driving. As unfortunate for Scene right there. Picked up a 3-second time penalty for that while we were on board with him. Unfortunate for Scene. He was looking so good with that 3-second time penalty. He still can make his way through this and battle for track position and maybe be a wrench in the works. With 10 laps to go, you never know. But Scene's going to have to get his moves on right here if he wants to have any chance to gain on Max or Muller or Kimi Larson or Nameless. But unfortunately for Scene, he did get a 3-second time penalty for that. They're all going through turn 1. A little bit of lockup on the front right for Scene, as these 4 are now battling out for P2. And battle's kind of a lane turner. It's more just like an aggressive following throughout these laps. We will start to see more aggressive moves in the later stages of the race, but none of these guys want to ruin each other's races. So they're just gonna keep it nice and easy, but they do know how to battle, all four of these guys. They're just keeping it clean and judging all their mistakes. But Scene has joined the party, and he's now riding the back of Kimi Larsson's tail. Kimi Larsson notices that Scene's there, is going to start falling away from Max. Mr. Anka gets a 3-second time penalty. On board with Scene right now. Look at the gap to Kimi. He thought about doing a move into turn 12, but he's going to have to get on the brakes a little bit early. And oh, he's going for the switchback and down the inside of turn 13. Big putt of smoke. Scene is looking for it, but he can't hold it, but he's going to try to hold it around the outside through turn 14. He certainly has the grip. And I think he's got the run. He's got the DRS assist and the slipstream above. It's a drag race. It's Kimi. It's Scene. It's Kimi. It's Scene. It's Kimi. It's Scene. It's still Kimi, but it's going to be Scene. 4P4. Where are they? Yes, it is. There is the Renault 4P4. Scene with the overtake. And now his next victim is Max ahead. What a brilliant run by Scene right there. As Muller and Max have pulled away a second of Scene, but Scene's going to close that down with the soft tires very soon. What a brilliant battle Scene has given us right here. They're going through the water park chicane. Scene running a bit wide, but remember, Scene does have a 3-second time penalty. So, Kimi may have given that position up if he knew about that. But Kimi is definitely separated from that fight. Scene sitting under a second on second and third place. He's trying to go for that podium position and for the win. Honestly, why wouldn't you? But Scene definitely feeling it right here. He's got Max in his eyesights, riding through the final 14th corner. Opens up DRS and is closing in on Max and Muller. He's not going to have the speed that he did last lap, but there is 2 more in his battle plan. And their names are Max and Muller. They both thankfully start with M, so he doesn't have to code M for Scene playing Code M. That is what it is. That is what it will be called. Code M Battle Plan. Or just drive fast on soft tires. As he enters the water park chicane. I'm just loving this camera angle. I'm so glad at it. I'm so glad this is the thing. This camera angle is not very good. This one. Closing in on Max right there. See Max and Muller battling out. Scene has entered the party. Points almost half a second. He is half a second on Max. This is where he started the battle with Kimi Larsson. He will have the slipstream assistance of Max ahead with the DRS. Now remember, Kimi did not have DRS when he was battling with Scene. Well, he did, but, you know, he wasn't side by side with anyone. But Scene is following very closely. DRS not being very effective as Muller moved down the inside and Scene didn't really follow Max right there, but he will have DRS going in through turn 3. Scene slowing down just a tad bit as Nameless, Muller, and Max have entered lap 15 on their tires. Now, Scene pitted on lap 18 of his tires. And I believe these guys are going way over. So, I think we're going to have a tire war battle very soon between the softs and the mediums. As THM is on 21 lap old medium tires right now. Hopefully he goes into the pits soon. We join back with Scene and the boys in the battle for the podium spots. Max just ahead in that Toro Rosso. Max gives a big lockup. Scene trying to ride around the outside, just trying to find any grip and any advantage on Max. But Max and Muller just very stable in these positions. Scene trying to look for a better run, opens up DRS. We're going right on board with Scene as he's closing his way down the straight and into turn 1. But Max is just so close to Muller that honestly he can't really lose any ground because he's in that heavy slipstream of Muller. So Scene has to make up his ground in the turns. They're making their way through turn 5 right now. This long right-hander and up into the water park chicane. Nameless leading up the race 2.7 seconds. He's just chilling up out in front. He did have a battle up there to get there, but honestly, he's been up there for a long time. Max riding very closely on the side of Muller. Muller is the pole sitter, but Scene is definitely right there in P4. And Kimi is in P5. The shot, Max closing in. Look at Scene right there. Look at Scene right behind him. Well, board with Scene. He's definitely within the slipstream range right now. He's got DRS open. I think he was adjusting his power output on his wheel. As this nice helicopter shot just shows you how much close these guys are. They're all rocketing through turn 1 and into turn 2. Max closing in on Muller just slightly. Scene closing in on Max by a long ways. But they're still far apart. They rocket through turn 4. Scene riding on the curb just a little tad bit. We saw him get a 3-second time penalty earlier in this race, so we have to always add 3 seconds on the back of Scene. They all go through the water park chicane. Hi, Kimmy. As they make their way through the tight, twisty section on Monaco without the walls. Remember, Hungary is very tight track. It's very hard to get an overtake during the track, except on a few of the braking zones and in the turns. So the fact that Scene's been able to push himself all the way up here is very impressive. As they once again enter the front straight. Scene getting a good run on Max, who didn't have the best of exits. I think he is in DRS range once again. Lap 32 out of 35, but not closing in the door. Big puffs of smoke from the cars ahead. As Scene sits there in turn 4, he's actually fallen a little bit behind of Max and Muller. As we're going on board with the Toro Rosso right now. That's getting very close to Muller in the swing in the water park chicane. Closing up on Muller very soon. He's still got Scene to worry about behind him. But the race is coming alive with 3 laps to go. Tires are splintering for any grip. They're getting worn all over the place. They're being locked up, turned in the marbles and everything. But who can handle them first, as Soren has unfortunately left the session? What has happened to Soren? I'm not sure. I think it was just an AI. I think he's just had a disconnection at this point in the race, as he is down in 14th. But Max and Muller and Scene all battling out for P2 and 3. They want to hold the trophies and spray the champagne, but you gotta finish the race first. As Scene trying to find any amount of grip anywhere to close in on Max and Muller, but those tires, those 12-lap old soft tires, are worn away quickly. He's got a few more laps left of grip in them, but honestly, so do the medium tires as well. As Soren has put on the ultra soft tires in the pits. Okay then. Max loses a lot of ground to Muller up ahead. Look at Scene. Scene's flying for a position. Scene riding in the slipstream, but I don't think he can. And Max still in P3. Look at the gap to Nameless and Muller. That has also fallen down. They're on the 20 lap. Oh, Max going really wide. And then, oh, we got an overtake between Marco Crispin and Mr. Anka. Marco Crispin did get the overtake on the inside of Mr. Anka. We were so focused we forgot about the biggest mover of today. Marco Crispin has moved up 7 places into P7. What a move by both runners today. Both of them looking very great. I don't have a invite. This is the last lap now. I can't exit the broadcast. Sorry, Soren. But Nameless and Muller's tires are falling off the cliff. Look at Max's big lockup as Nebula has retired for this session. With 1 lap to go, ladies and gentlemen, it is crunch time here in the Hungaroring. Lap 35. Tires are at the end of their lives. It is all to play for right here. Can Max have anything to go? Soren, please stop messaging me. We're on the last lap. Max and Soren. Max and Muller, actually. When I say Soren. With Max closing in on Muller. Nameless pulling away from Max. This is the time for Max to try to make the lunge for P2. As Scene is under pressure from Kimi Larson. They're closing in. Look at Max! Max tried it! And going in through turn 9. Heading in through turn 10 and into turn 11. Max trying for any sort of grip on Muller. As they head into turn 12, Nameless is up there and primed as we take this parabolic look up at turn 13. Let's love and see Marshall's as they come across the final corner. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and still championship leader, Nameless, followed by Muller and Kimi Larson taking 3rd, Max in P4, and Scene in P5 after penalties have been let out. Matthias finished in P6, Marco Crispin finishing in P7. We got James coming across the line, followed by Mr. Anka in 8th and 9th, and for the 1-point Jury comes across the line. I believe he did have some penalties, so no, it's gonna be Jury. Jury in P10, but ladies and gentlemen, your winner today, Nameless in the Ferrari. What a crazy, crazy race we had here today. Congratulations to Nameless. You certainly deserved that win. As Nameless lifts up a hand in victory, followed by Muller and his teammate Ferrari are still leading the championship as they lift the trophy and spray the champagne. And here are your results. It's going to be Nameless taking the victory, followed by Muller, Kimi Larson, Max, Scene, Matthias, Marco Crispin, James, Mr. Anka, Jury, THM, Koldo, Kian Harrison, Soren, Nebula, and Hypers, who had that crash early on in the race. What a drive by Nameless, as we're going to head into the Discord right now and get ready for some interviews. What a race we all saw here today. I'm honestly out of breath from that constant battling from P1 through P4. Scenes move up through the field. We're just waiting for the guys to get ready up for their interviews. As Nameless is right there, so I am in the commentary box to P3. Nameless. Congrats on another win.
Thank you. Well, it was a really hard one.
Well, it was certainly well deserved. You had that massive battle with Moeller, and who was having you just had that massive four-way fight throughout most of the race. How did you deal with that?
So my quali went not that good because with the lap I would be P2. So if I had started from P2, it would be much more easier. But then I had to fight really hard against VP Max, and it was really hard to overtake him because in turn 1 he always closed the door on the inside, so he defended very well. And then Müller and I decided that we gonna make the undercut, but it doesn't work that well. But in the end we had our mediums were on good temperature, so we had a slightly more grip, and then I managed to overtake VP Max, and from then on it was only looking that I am not getting a penalty because I had 2 warnings, and in the end my ERS and fuel was very low, so I'm really happy with the result, and
Alright, thank you for that. Let's go to the pole sitter and second place, Moeller. How was that race? Nameless got you, unfortunately, after a few laps on the start, but you held with them and had that massive battle. How was that race for you?
It was really hard because I needed to manage my ERS and fuel the whole race long because I needed to defend on the main straight against Max all the time, and I had the same problem as Nameless, that I had 2 warnings after, I guess, 16 laps, something like that. So the last, don't know how many laps give me a second. It was fucking hard. I'm sweating.
Language.
It was really hard, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And yes, but pole was quite nice, the quali.
Yeah, quali certainly gave us a very interesting start with that, as Kimmy Larson has joined us in the commentary box. Kimmy, congrats on P3. Thankfully, Max and Scene had penalties, so you could sit up there in P3. Did you know that they had penalties when you were battling them?
Well, first of all, congrats to Nameless and Müller for some stunning overtaking, and what a quali lap that was. No, I didn't know it actually, but that was my strategy, just keep out of penalties and warnings, which I managed, but it was tricky for me this race. I didn't feel confident with the car and everything, so I'm happy with P3. Also, again, saw the points for Ferrari.
Yeah, Ferrari definitely still happy as they increase their lead on everyone else. It's a ridiculous number now, but it's utterly insane. That's another podiums for Ferrari. Moeller, another podium for you. You must be certainly happy from that. Anything y'all want to say about that massive fight and that start? Anything?
I'm just happy. I can't get the right words.
Smiles all around. Alright, well, I'm glad all of you guys are happy. Next race is at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. So, how are you guys preparing for that race next week?
A lot of slipstream fest, I think.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think basically just trying in the race for Spa is certainly try to stick with the top guys with again with the slipstream, because once you're out of it, it's I think it's impossible to get back to it. So yeah, I think that will be the key for the next race.
All right. Well, we have a little bit of keys for the next race to listen to. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for giving a massive show to the audience. Thank you for everyone in the audience who watched the stream. My name has been Austin Knight. I hope you guys have a good night.